I've held the Chase Freedom Unlimited for 1 year, and in this video, I want to share my thoughts on this card, why recently I found myself using it more and more, and also why my original plan to change this over to the Chase Freedom has gone away. I applied back in May of 2024 when, quite honestly, I still didn't know much about credit cards at that time. I was just looking for a no annual fee card with a 0% APR offer when I was getting ready to purchase an engagement ring for my now fiance. My thinking was to just have a safety net, thinking about all the spend that we'd have upcoming, all the different wedding expenses and things. Honestly, I was just panicking a bit, but it was nice knowing that I had a card that we could carry a balance on if we really needed to save up more and more money to be able to pay off those expenses over the course of the next year or so. As I quickly learned, as I started to do more research on credit cards, when I was really starting to fully buy into the credit card game, is carrying a balance, especially on a personal card, is never recommended. That high utilization will actually show up on your credit report, hurting your credit score. And also, I did what I'm good at, which is getting into Excel, building a budget tracker, figuring out how much the wedding would actually cost. I quickly realized that as long as we stay organized, didn't overextend ourselves anywhere, that we'd be just fine. We wouldn't really need to carry that balance like I had originally thought we would. Once I started applying for more and more credit cards, and even getting my fiance to start applying, we were always putting all of our spend towards whatever welcome offer we were chasing at that time, and that strategy allowed us to earn and redeem over 2 million credit card points and miles for our honeymoon, and I cover one leg of that in the video that I'll link right here. But without having all that spend, really the Freedom Unlimited got used hardly at all towards the end of last year and even the first few months of 2025. That was until this summer when a few things changed that really gave us an opportunity to start putting more and more spend on this card. First was the changes that I made to our credit card roadmap and some of the cards that we wanted to apply for here over these next several months. As you can see here, a lot of it is with American Express cards to earn membership rewards points, and even includes a couple cards from Barclays, one being the Hawaiian Airlines credit card, which I really just want to get my hands on before it's discontinued to be able to transfer those Hawaiian miles over to Alaska to be able to book American Airlines flights. And the other one being the Aviator Red card from Barclays, which I want my fiance to apply for right at the end of this year. Again, right before it's either discontinued or switched over to a Citi AA card. If you don't know, Citi inked a deal in December of 2024 stating that they would be the exclusive credit card issuer of all AA credit cards. So with a sign-up bonus that you get with the Aviator Red, that's so simple. There's no minimum spend requirement. All you have to do is make a purchase, and then you get 50,000 American Airlines miles. Anyway, getting back to my point, with the credit card roadmap, we don't really have a strong way of earning a ton of ultimate rewards points by hitting welcome offers, especially now that the Chase Ink train appears to be somewhat dead, which I'm going through right now. I just applied for the Chase Ink Cash, and unfortunately I was denied. I called Chase Recon once, and I'm going to keep trying here over the next few weeks, see if anything might change with that decision. But in the meantime, I think we just need to play the long-term game with Chase. For both myself and my fiance, we're going to wait several months between our credit card applications there. And we haven't had as much luck with getting approved for as many cards as we have with an issuer like American Express. So since I've already added the Amex Green card, and really for me for the remainder of this year, I just plan on climbing the Amex ladder, which I cover in my most recent video. And for my fiance, I want to keep her eligible for the Amex Business Gold card offer that she has in her account right now of 175,000 points. Outside of her potentially applying for the Freedom Unlimited, if there's ever an elevated online offer of something like the 5x back on gas and groceries that was supposedly in branch as reported by Doctor of Credit in June, that's likely going to be the only other potential Chase application that we have this year, with myself already having the Freedom Unlimited, the Ink Preferred, the Ink Unlimited, and also the Sapphire Preferred, and she's already got the Ink Unlimited and the Sapphire Preferred as well, so we may not be eligible for the Sapphire Reserve offer. I also added the Blue Business Plus in March of this year to have a catch-all card that could earn me 2x back as opposed to the 1.5x back that you get with the Freedom Unlimited. However, I have recently sort of maxed out my credit limit with that card of $10,000, and I'm taking advantage of its 0% APR offer, where I'm just carrying that balance for the next 12 months. Instead of paying off the card in full like I do with all of my other cards, I'm putting that money into a high yield savings account, earning 4% back. So I'm actually earning interest while not paying any interest to the bank while carrying that balance. And the best part about doing this with a business card and why it's recommended to do it that way as opposed to a personal card like the Freedom Unlimited is that because it's that business card, it won't show up on your credit report, so you don't have that high utilization, in turn hurting your credit score. So knowing all of that, hopefully that gives you some context as to why I started using this as my catch-all card recently. The Freedom Unlimited also ended up being one of the only cards that I used on our recent trip for July 4th up to Lake Champlain in Vermont. If you've never been to that area of North or South Hero, Vermont, which is right in the middle of the lake, two different little islands, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, very small town vibes, certainly no supermarkets, a lot of farm stands, really limited list of restaurants too. There was a bunch of food trucks that we ate at. So even those, let's say we want to go get a burger from a food truck, I wasn't fully confident in using my Amex Gold card thinking that I would get the full 4x back for dining at US restaurants, so I ended up using the Freedom Unlimited to earn hopefully 3x back, but at the very least I would be earning 1.5x back for all that spend. So we ended up having quite a few of those meals. We went to some different farm stands and farmers markets where I knew that those would not code as a US supermarket on my Amex Gold, no duh. So I found myself using this card way more than I thought I would when we originally booked this trip. On the very last night, we did book a reservation at one of the better restaurants on the islands. And then the following morning, we followed that up with a brunch at one of the hotels, which both of those I was fairly confident would code as restaurants. So I ended up using my Amex Gold there. But outside of that, I really ended up using the Freedom Unlimited for just about everything else. I discussed this in a bit more detail in the ranking video where I talk about all the cards currently in my wallet and I put them in different tiers, about this overlapping 3x dining category that it shares with the Sapphire Preferred and Sapphire Reserve, and how I actually view that as sort of a good thing, and this 4th of July trip was a perfect example. I think it just adds to the simplicity of the Freedom Unlimited and why I think that that's actually a good thing, or can be a good thing in some cases. Like, for example, if I wanted to continue earning Ultimate Rewards points, I could give the Freedom Unlimited to my fiance, tell her it's as simple as this: put all the groceries on the Amex Gold, put everything else on the Freedom Unlimited. I don't like the idea of trying to give her a 4 or 5 card setup, and while she's great about asking me what sign-up bonus we should be hitting right now, what card should I put this spend on, trying to give her a really complex setup with a bunch of categories and I gotta put labels on each card, it just doesn't sound very reasonable. So a card like the Freedom Unlimited sort of gives us that option over the long term of having a very simple setup in her wallet as well. With this card, you're earning 3x back on dining, as I said, 3x back on drugstores, you're getting 5x on travel booked through Chase's travel portal, and that 1.5x back on everything else. You're also getting a full suite of purchase protections, insurances. However, this card does have foreign transaction fees, so if you're traveling internationally, you can't really dumb it down to a simple one-card setup the way that I just did for this domestic trip that we took for July 4th. Now, would I love for this to just be a 2x earning card and have no of these overlapping categories? Of course. And I think I share that opinion with a lot of people out there, but at least for now, in its current state, it's going to stay as is, so I'm choosing to look at that overlapping category as a positive. I use that 3x back on dining that comes with the Freedom Unlimited to my advantage with that most recent trip that I talked about. And honestly, moving forward, I plan on doing more of the same. With both of us being skiers, we're always kind of in the middle of nowhere, at least once a month. So just being able to bring one card with me, somewhere domestically, of course, having a catch-all card like this that gives you an elevated category, especially a big one like dining, for when you are traveling, makes it really simple. For us, we travel quite a bit throughout the year, especially to some of those areas that aren't densely populated at all. There's no real supermarkets or anything, and we're constantly eating out when we travel, whether it be during ski season or now in the summer. So having the ability to really just bring one card with us and not have to have my mind constantly turning like it typically is in this credit card game while we are just trying to enjoy our time together is huge. Looking ahead to 2026, when that Blue Business Plus balance is fully paid off and I have the ability to use that again as my catch-all card to earn 2x, I guess I'll kind of have to reassess my own wallet or setup. But for the time being, the Freedom Unlimited is going to be the main earner for us of Chase Ultimate Rewards points. If you do want to go out and apply for the Freedom Unlimited, or really any of the cards that I mentioned in this video, make sure you check out the referral links that I'll leave in the description down below. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on the Freedom Unlimited, if you see the advantage of the overlapping categories the way that I do, and how you plan on using it if you do end up traveling domestically, whether you're in 2-player mode or not. And while you're down there, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also I recently just announced that I launched a website, thejordanrulesforcredit.com, which I'm very excited about. On there you can find the roadmap tool, which I was using in today's video, and you can download that completely for free. I've also got on there a bunch of my new merch drops, And you can also join our email list if you want to stay more up to date with the channel, what's going on in my personal life, and future updates as well. As always, I just want to thank you all so much for watching the video. However you decide to support the channel, it is greatly appreciated. It's been a wild ride so far. Still hard to believe I'm over 500 subscribers, so thank you all very much. If you want to see me break down some of the other cards that I have in my wallet, make sure you check out one of these videos here. And thank you all again. I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.